doing YouTube. So it is 8:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm about to make this Thursday. I like to do it. I used to drive real early in the morning, but I don't do it anymore. Because I have to like to make sure I can see, which I can see, but I just, and the sun is up and bright, but don't let this sun fool y'all see I got a little jacket on today, so it is cool this morning. I just came out of the quick trip. There, you guys can see my eyes. I just came out of the quick trip, and I was so glad that I had my little baby. Now, I don't know how many of y'all seen the movie Falling with Denzel Washington when the spirit was hopping from body to body, but I do know this. There was no social distancing in that quick trip, because I went in and I got me a bottle of water, and I like their little sandwiches, so I got a bacon, egg, cheese sandwich that I'll eat later on down the road. So I don't know, but when I went in that quick trip, y'all, I almost went PTSD, almost started having a freaking panic attack because none of the people had masks. Good morning, Vernus. How are you, sweetheart? I'm on my way to Alabama to go see my my mom. She's okay. She's been in the hospital for a couple of days, and she had a procedure done yesterday, but I just want to see her face. I haven't seen my mom since March, since this pandemic, and the hospital did say that they're allowing one person, as long as I got a mask, to come in. But I was just talking about how I just came out of a quick trip and had my mask because I counted there was over 30 people in that quick trip. No social distancing, no mask, no nothing, and I just almost wanted to freak out. I couldn't get out of that store quick enough. But people do not realize it's not going to go away if you don't do what you need to do. So right now, I'm getting ready to do a road trip. Maybe a live where y'all just watch me drive. Who knows? You know. According to Google, I should get there around. Y'all gotta remember she's an hour behind me, so I'm in Atlanta. I should get there. It'll be probably about 10 their time, 11 my time, and I'm just gonna sit with her for a couple hours and have a couple of talks with her and talk with her doctors and everything about the procedure that they did yesterday, and everything, and what else is going to happen as far as that. So that is my drive to Alabama this morning, y'all. And not right now sitting on my couch teleworking. I'm doing this drive. And it is, like I said, it is a little cool this morning. I woke up and I asked Alexa the temperature, and she told me why so fall decided to come a couple of days. So that is what I'm doing. I'm on this commute and everything. I hope everybody had a blessed, safe, beautiful weekend. I know mine's was okay, but like I said, I'll feel better once I lay my eyes on this lady that gave birth to me and everything. Just to make sure she good. Cause she good, I'm good. She ain't good, I ain't good. And y'all know you got to be up on your parents. You got to ask their doctors questions and stuff. You have to, because if you don't ask them questions, elderly parents are not going. They're going to get part of the information, but not all of the information, right? So, uh, you know. But I will tell you this, Miss Claire, she be on point with her health. So when these doctors be asking her certain things or whatever, she comes straight out and she tell them, no, 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 no. I can't do that, and I had that procedure before, and it didn't, and this is what the results, and they be thinking that she, don't know what she talking about, but she do. So it is what it is, but that's all I'm doing. I'm getting ready to get on 75 North, and yeah, but like I said, this may be just a drive with me not talking, not saying a word, just doing what I do best. Drive. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I used to drive a lot when I was younger, but I don't mind traveling. I don't mind hitting that interstate and doing what I need to do. And I got my Google Maps in my ear, because sometimes I can take shortcuts and stuff to get where I'm going. But I usually go up through Chattanooga. Once I go up through Chattanooga, then I hit I-24, and then I end up taking 72 in Alabama. So if anybody knows I got 7 different ways to get to Huntsville, Alabama, if I need be. And if you go up the Chattanooga way, it cuts out for me about a good 45 minutes as far as the commute, because you go up and then you are in Tennessee for a minute, then you dip down into Georgia, then you dip into Tennessee, then you dip into Georgia a little bit, then you in Alabama. But going to Birmingham, I drive, so I won't be doing that. Go home, talked about it. I got a vlog, various types of sushi. It's uploading now as I'm driving, and hopefully it should be premiered around 1. This is a 45-minute vlog, so it's a little long one, guys. But I had fun. We talked about, me and my daughters talked about different things. You hear her voice, but you can't see her. She was being the cameraman, or excuse me, the camera woman and everything. And like I said, we talked about the romantic film. How does that currently affect you now? What is it that you see? And everything else. So right now I am on 75, north on my way to Chattanooga. Like I said, and then cut through Chattanooga and go on down and do what I do. And yes, y'all, I hate to admit it, but I can see what some of y'all saying. When I get back home, I'll run it back and everything. But once I get my music and get on down the road, and I never forget one time me and my mom, I was taking her back because we're originally from Ohio, transplanted to Alabama, raised in Alabama, and then I ended up going to West Coast, coming back, living in Georgia, and she got this little PT Cruiser, y'all, and it cracks me up because my mom is short. I'm so much taller than my mom. My mom was tiny compared to, I asked, how in the world did you have such a big baby? She say she 5'5", but right now she about I'm gonna say 5'1", but I ain't gonna tell her. I'm gonna let her keep living at 5'1", that 5'5" fantasy. But I was taking her to Ohio. We were going to Ohio, and at the time, unfortunately, it was when we had lost someone in our family, and so my mom has this little PT Cruiser now, and that's why I laughed when D. Dias talked about her PT Cruiser causing Dorothy. But to make a long story short, I told her, I said, Mom, I said, I'm gonna have to blow your car out, because y'all know older people, they go to and from, they don't get on the highway, they don't do nothing. So she was over there in the passenger seat. She was just talking and talking and talking. And so, I'm one of them people that I put my music on and I am ride or die out. And so, to make a long story short, she had nodded over and went to sleep. I was like, yes, I can blow this damn car out. Next thing you know, her car, them cruisers, when it started picking up speed, I was doing 95. My mom had no idea. But then she woke up and she said, I know you speak. She said, cause my baby, she just humming. She just humming. And she said, it's okay. You can go ahead and blow out. She need to be blowed out because I don't drive it that much. And so what was really the funny part about the trip is later on, we're going down the road and I'm doing 90, 95, okay? This one lady comes behind me and all I see is a lady in the steering wheel like this, y'all. See her, I don't even know if she was blinking or not. Next thing I know, I got over. I looked over. It was a little old white lady, and she was doing about 100 and something. I said, well, go on there, Sister Kate, with yourself. And my mom was just dying laughing. I said, see? I said, you fussing. I said, you be fussing when I speed. She said, no, I ain't fussing at your speed. She said, because now you really wasn't speeding compared to that lady that was on your butt. I said, I know. So I told my mom, I said, well, once stuff calmed down a little bit more, with the pandemic and everything, I really want her to start coming to spend more time with me and the girls. I'm the baby of her too. I'm the baby. And I have an older brother. Now, I only have gave her two grandbabies. My brother gave her 4, and my brother has all the great grands, like I said before in the vlog, that are 8 great grands. The oldest is 10, 11. They're stair stacked. And out of those, only 2 out of the 8 great grands, only 2 were girls. So my mom kind of followed the cycle of what my grandmother had. My grandmother had 6 boys, 6 grandkids, 4 boys, 2 girls. The 2 girls were the baby, and I was the baby of mom. But on my grandfather, I am in the older set of grandkids, because he had 6 grandkids with my grandmother, and then he has kids with my grandma Catherine and everything. So it's a pretty day. It's a little cool though, like I said before. And the girl is getting on down this highway doing what she needs to do. Yeah, Bernice, I'm looking, I'm reading just a little bit, but yeah, they were up in the Q-tip, the Quick Trip. I mean, it had to be 30 something in the mag with no mask, and they all were close together and no social distancing. It just freaked me out. I thought I was in the movie Falling. Soon I was like, okay, so y'all. And then the thing about it is, I understand it's a business, but Quick Trip. I got a story about this too. Y'all know my 2 Yorkies. I got them from this one lady who lived in Red Top Mountain, Georgia. She did designer breeds, Yorkies, and regular poodles and everything. And so what's funny to me is when I met her, and at the time my ex-husband went with me to go get, we were only supposed to get 1. We ended up with 2 after, and 2 weeks later. But to make the story short, I cannot think of her name, but she had a poodle that she bought with us when she bought us Tyson, because I got Tyson first, and came back 2 weeks later, like I said, and I got Afrin, Red Top. was in the mountains getting some Yorkies. And I didn't think we could send smoke signals. But she had this bleach blonde hair, and when I seen the poodle and I seen her, I was like, okay, her and the poodle are matching with the hair. But she was Rose, is what her name was. She was the sweetest person, and if I could find Miss Rose right now, I will see if she, because I really am thinking about not replacing Atherine, but I want another Yorkie. Because sometimes I look at poor little Tyson, and Tyson just looks so lonely, y'all, without his brother, that I just feel so bad for him and everything. And he pulling his little cleaning water, y'all. But I ain't trying to get stuck behind. But it was funny going up in that area to get Tyson, because we had, now remind you, my ex-husband's from Savannah. I'm not from Georgia. And so when we went and we met her and everything, and her husband, they were just as sweet as they could be. So the joke is that my dogs are from northern Georgia, and if anybody know what goes, that's I won't say parts that I don't really go to. But it was a good hour and a half drive to get them, and a good hour and a half drive to get back. But when we hit two lane highway up in the mountains, I was just cracking up, and all I could hear was the banjo from the movie Deliverance, and I was like, okay, all right, Anthony, this ain't gonna work. We got to be up and out before the sun go down. And he just started dying laughing at me. But what I want to do, and I was telling my kids this, is I have seen the world and everything, not once but twice. But what I would like to do is just to go to certain parts. There's a couple of trips I still want to do outside internationally, but I want to go see certain parts of the United States. Fun fact, just to see what I can see, because a lot of people are born and raised in their state, don't go anywhere, and I actually have some co-workers like that, never been out of their state, and I'm looking at you, or looking at them like, seriously? They're like, nah, I ain't never been out of the state of Georgia. You've never been out of the state of Georgia? Okay. I know I done drove through at least 20 of them or whatever, but I can actually say I've been out of my home state, Alabama. I was traveling. I used to go on a lot of field trips in high school outside of Alabama. And then of course, when I got in the Navy and stationed in San Diego, I would do small road trips. When I went to move to Seattle, before I got out, me and the ex, we would do little road trips. And I was hoping this year that me and the girls do a couple of road trips, but then again, the pandemic hit and stuff. And y'all, I can't see everything that y'all saying. I gotta keep the eyes on the road, but when I go back and replay it, I'm gonna comment on what y'all said. I try not to stop at rest areas if I can help it. I think my bladder does very well for my age, because some people be calling me old. But I just have certain safety rules, road rules that I do. Now, the longest I've ever driven was when I drove from Seattle to Alabama, then to here was when I relocated, and I drove at the time with my 7-year-old daughter, who's now 27. And my youngest one was already in Alabama with my mom, and my husband was already here at the time because we were relocating because he got a job here, and we said we wanted to move closer to home, and that's what we did. So that was interesting because I left in March, and I came down through, because I knew certain states would still have bad weather or whatever, so I didn't want to go through any Idaho, any of those states, and then just come down. So I ended up taking I-5 down from Seattle all the way down to the tip of California, which it ended up being Needles. Then I cut across, I believe it was 10. Yeah, I cut across on 10, and then I went through the top parts of Arizona and those states like that. Now, this is what was jacked up. It was March, and me and Brittany had made it to, we were like 40 miles outside of Flagstaff, Arizona, and all of a sudden, a damn snowstorm hit. And, of course, no, she wasn't. She said she was going on 7. Yeah, I had to think about it. She was 7. And so she was like, Mommy, 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 look, the snow. And I'm sitting up here like, oh, God, I got to get out. And I got to go buy some snow chains and put them on my car. And I'm like, oh, God, And it was just by the grace of God on this trip. Twice God had me in this girl's bag. Because you're talking about a woman with a small child traveling across the United States in a car by themselves. And so what ended up happening was it was a truck driver. He was a moving company truck driver. He was a brother. He worked for United, the moving company. And he told me he said, I see you got your daughter. And he said, what I want you to do, because the snow, y'all, was up to my ankles, okay? He said, just follow me in my tracks. And he said, I'm going to get you and your daughter up. Because y'all got to realize Flagstaff can go up in the mountains and stuff. And so I followed that truck driver, I want to say, for about a good 4 or 5 hours. And his truck, we weren't in a hurry because it was snowing. His truck was making a path for my car to go through the snow. And at the time, you had cell phones. And so he was talking to me on my cell phone. And he was like, you still back there? You all right? Y'all okay? And I have to say that was an angel. And when I lived in Seattle, I drove through snow, but I didn't drive through this type of storm that had hit. Because it had hit to a point where me and her had to stop for about 2 or 3 hours, or the traffic had stopped for 2 or 3 hours. And then we seen the rest area, and we went and stopped there because she had to go to the bathroom and everything and all that. So did I. So that was just, I call that a divine intervention. I appreciate him. And he had called, and eventually he checked on to make sure we made it into our final destination. And I really, really appreciate that truck driver. Now, on that same trip, I'm on 72. I'm only 2 hours away from my mom's house at the time. And my headlights went out, y'all. And it was just weird. And I told Brittany, I said, Brittany, I said, we're just going to go ahead and stop. And because for some reason, mommy's headlights, and it was starting to get dark or whatever. And so I stopped. And just so happenly, God is good on this trip, 2 military guys. One was black, one was white. He said, they said, I see you looking at your headlights. Is there anything we can do? And I said, well, I think the bulbs blew. He said, there's a Walmart up here. Let us go run to the Walmart. And I tried to give them money. Even after they fixed it, had me ready, they would not take it. And they were like, no, we got you. We got you covered. So what I ended up doing is that they put the 2 bulbs in the headlights in. And I ended up thanking them. I was in tears. Now remind you, I was less than 70-something miles away from my mama's house. By the time everything was said and done, I told Brittany, I said, you know what, even though we're 70-something miles away from Grandma's house, I'm going to stop and rest. And I'm glad I did, because it started pouring down rain. So me and her stayed at the hotel room or whatever. And I made sure she got her something to eat or whatever. And we still to this day talk about this trip. And I woke up, sun out, got her dressed, got back in the car, and I landed at my mama's house that Sunday morning. And I got to reunite with my youngest baby, and my husband at the time was back here in Atlanta working. So I didn't get to see him until a couple of days later, the following weekend, which was okay. And when your child that you just turned 2, because my baby turned 2 at my mama's house, and she's 22 now. So at that time, I was really thankful. I looked back on that trip and I said my grandmother must have had a bunch of guardian angels, watching over me and stuff, because there was 2 incidents where I had 2 guardian angels looking out for me and my baby. Now, I'm going to be honest, if I ever have to move across country again, I will have them ship my car. We will fly, because I ain't doing that drive. I'm not. It took me 2.5 days. I'm still trying to figure out how my ex-husband made it as fast as he did. I know he must have stopped, because he had the baby with him, and she probably was in the car seat with her head to the side and with a crook in it. And I was like, I don't see how he did it, but he's a driver too. So, like I said, it is what it is. But my favorite time of day to drive is either right now, when everybody is just, or it's something about the dusk and the dawn that I like. I like seeing when people start waking up, or cities start waking up, and you're going through them. It's just something about seeing everybody wake up. And then just before it gets dark, I like to drive at that time of day too. But a simple fact is that you see a lot. Okay, Toya. Let me be careful, I keep forgetting. Y'all know I put the pedal to the metal. Let me slow it down a little bit too fast. But it seems peaceful. Now, when I was driving through like the upper part of Texas and stuff like that, I did not like drive, or Arizona. When I was driving through Arizona during the day, that is the prettiest time. There's the prettiest time where you can see the sun set on those rock formations, or whatever you want to call it. Very pretty. That was my last time with my daughter that I drove across country. Now, the first time I drove from San Diego to Alabama was with her dad, and she was 8 months old. So Brittany's always been, maybe that's why she get car sick. I don't know. But she was back there in the car seat, and I was telling her that, I was like, hey, we need to stop because my baby getting the crook in her neck. And she was back there like this. And so he was like, she'll be okay. I said, nah. So we would stop. But then when I did get her out that car seat, she had that crook in her neck. So, yeah, I'm a little different than my mom. I'm one of them women. I don't men don't take us the wrong way. If you're in the chat, I believe in being able to drive myself from point A to point B. That's just me. I'm going to drive myself from point A to point B, get her done. My mom is old school. She believed that a man has to drive you on a road trip. And that's just not me. If I want to go somewhere and he don't want to go, I'm going to go. Simple as that. I'm going to go. See, I don't like being behind trucks that got pieces of metal and whatever sticking out of them. They don't look too secure. I'm talking about the pickup trucks. But I really am going to suggest that some of you guys go and look at the movie Antebellum. I went on and looked at it on my demand. I didn't care about paying the $20 because if I had went to the movie theater, if this hadn't been going on, I would have spent almost $100 with the tickets and with the refreshments and everything. So hey, I got off cheap with $20. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not gonna give you any details, but that movie woke me up, had me looking and thinking about certain situations that I will continue to think about and look about or look at in certain situations. Make me be very, very woke in my surroundings. Just be woke. Be woke. Just like people need to be woke with these semis that I'm passing, not the ones that carry the fuel, the milk. Okay. And see, when I listen to my Google, she'll tell you. She just said there's a speed trap ahead. So I have, y'all don't realize, I have my Bluetooth in my ear because I got my Google map going while I'm also talking on the live. And she be right on point when she said it's a speed trap. So what I'm going to do is slide on over. I'm going to let all these people with these trucks, these pickup trucks, do what they do best. That's what I'm going to do. Now, I will tell you this. I always have an atlas, a paper atlas with me. You need to know you need to have a paper map with you at all times, especially if you're on the road. You need to know how to read that map. My mama and my grandma taught me how to read maps. And plus, when I was in the Navy, I had to be able to read maps. But when you read maps when you're on a ship, it's totally different. But you got to be able to find the landmarks. And it goes from it being a distance to where close you're charting and everything. But I had, when my kids were little and we were doing a road trip, we was going to Myrtle Beach and stuff. Just before I got GPS and everything came out, or I just didn't have a GPS, but I knew to get a map. And I showed them how to. I said, okay, so how many states are we going to go through? And so what they did is they thought about it. I said, okay, so I need you to find the maps for those states, and I need you to follow the interstate through those maps. And they actually had fun doing it. You'd be surprised how many people cannot read a map. The younger generation, I think they more depend on the technology. But what if you didn't have the technology? What if you had to use a map? I'm just saying, you would need to know how to get from point A to point B. Then get from point B to C. Could you map yourself manually from here, or say from Atlanta to Myrtle Beach? Would would you know when to pull out the map? Would you know how to look at the distance between the miles and everything for the map? That's the key. If we can get our kids back to learning how to do certain things manually, like I have discovered, even me myself, I used to remember my grandmother's phone number off the top of my head. I used to remember my mom's number off the top of my head because she had it for so many years, but then she changed it. So if I had to call my mom right now, well, I could call her right now because I kind of know the hospital and everything. But if I had to call my mom's home phone right now, I would have to stop and look it up in the phone. Because she had the one number ever since I was in elementary school, and then she changed it about 3-4 years ago. So now, I might remember the last 4 numbers of it. It's almost similar to mine, but I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm doing this little road trip up here to see her, to touch her, feel her, but still wear my mask and keep her safe and keep me safe. Because, like I said, I hadn't seen my mom physically since March. Last time I seen my mom, she was in the hospital, had a major surgery. Because the doctors been keeping me informed every day. They'll call. But today, I'm just going to go up here and just make sure, that, because there's some other stuff that's going on after she's had this procedure. So, your parents try not to worry you, but you can hear it in their voice sometimes. And Miss Claire is a fighter, y'all. If I was to ever tell y'all all the stuff that she's been through, I've also lost her when I was in the 3rd grade. She was in a real bad car accident. But guess what? She stayed with me. As I got older, I realized my mom, and you have to give your moms the benefit of the doubt. Now we up here by all these little carpet factories like Mohawk and stuff. That's how you even know you're getting further up in northern Georgia. I think Dalton and all of them. And then, yeah. And it's telling me, I think I'm 46 miles from Chattanooga. Yeah. So, like I said, and y'all don't be laughing at me. You're welcome on that ideal about teaching a map, because you can't, like I said, you can't depend on. It's great that we got the technology and everything, but also teach them how to read the stars. Learn about because you got to realize, and this is a fact. Underground Railroad. How did they know north was north? They read stars, right? Right. So now that you got a map, and you can get an atlas map, I think they usually have them at checkout at Walmart for like $3, $4, the most $5. And just sit down and go over the map with them and say, okay, we're gonna do a road trip. Okay, so let's do that, because God forbid one day that all these electronics just go boom, and we end up in what you call a dark age, and you don't know how to get around, or you don't know how to, do certain things, or it makes a difference into knowing what you want to do. Now, y'all, I will admit, every now and then when I'm going either like to Jacksonville, Florida, or if I'm going north, I will stop and get me some pecans or pecans, as y'all, some people say pecans, as some people say. The one place that I stop at when I'm going to Jacksonville, Florida, they have the best chocolate covered pecans on these caramel pecans or pecans, and I enjoy those. So sometimes when I'm going, depending on what's going on, if I have the time, I will stop and get certain things. Now, I believe today when I do leave out, because I'm not going to stay all night unless she asks me to, and chances are she asks me to is because she just wants me there with her. I stop and get this white barbecue sauce that's made with vinegar from my home, and I enjoy it. I grew up with it. Other than that, y'all, I'm going to get on down this highway. I appreciate everybody that stopped in to hear me chat, because I'm about to put my music on, and with me and I call my car the little silver dragon, we about to knock the rest of these miles out, and I can do what I gotta do. What I probably will do is go live just for a quick second when I'm on my way back, and to give you an update on everything and everything. Like I said, I left with a vlog uploading. Where I was tasting different types of sushi. I have become I like sushi now versus before when I ate sushi several years ago. And I had a good conversation with my babies. So I have it set as a premiere because it's a 45-minute vlog. I didn't edit, I didn't cut anything out or anything. It's just me, my daughter Brittany, and the camera woman Kiera. You can hear the little voice, but you can't see her, just having an actual talk. And you see some of the fur babies running around. But again, if didn't nobody tell you that they love you, I'm just me. I'm gonna tell you that I love you. Thank you for watching, liking, comment, sharing, and subscribing. And I will see you guys later. Y'all have a blessed day. And